So this is exactly what we're talking about, is the ability to get up inside of frame rails and things like that and be able to spray it with the cavity wax. And one of the things that we also do here is, I'll show you, is we do a cool little demo where we take, so the cavity wax itself, and then you, now the trick with this one is it be gentle when you put this thing on. You don't want it to spray, but basically tap it into place and
spray your neighbors.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of people apply, well, the cavity waxes, but they don't ever get a chance to see how it works. So here's how it works. So complete,
oh wow,
360-degree pass, and it coats everything up inside. And that's how you get that corrosion protection inside those quarter panels, inside the doors, things like that, because they always hold water. When you're done, you're left with a wand that looks horrible. So you want to make sure that you clean this. So what we do is we take our XXX gun cleaner. We take the tip off of it and apply it. And this is just how quick it takes to clean it. And then when you're done, wipe it off. And now you get a brand new wand again.
That's the cleanest thing I've ever seen.
So it does.
The quickest cleaning I've ever seen.
Yep. So the other thing I'll tell you, and it's not on every can, but on a lot of them there are. If you ever noticed, there's a dot up here at the top. So the way that an aerosol is put together is you have the can, you have the marble down in here, you have this valve, and then you have a tip that goes on top of the valve. So a lot of people always used to say, oh man, I've got a stopped up tip, I didn't clean it out right, whatever. When the reality was, it may not have been the tip, it might have actually been a stopped up valve. On the bottom of this valve, there's a straw. That straw goes all the way to the bottom of the can, and it's got a curve to it.
Right.
That dot tells you which way the curved straw is facing. So by law, when we tell you that this is a 20-ounce aerosol, you have to be able to dispense all 20 ounces of it, whatever's on the label.
Right.
So in order to do that, if you're ever spraying something and it's spitting and sputtering, you're getting down to the bottom of the can, find the dot, twist the cap around a little bit so that you're facing it this way, point it down, and now you'll be able to spray every single drop out of here.
Oh, wow.
And it's that way for every aerosol. They all have that curvature to the straw.
Right.
If it's spitting, but you can still feel that there's product in there, twist it around a little bit and keep spraying.
So just keep your tips aligned to the dot and you can use all the cans.
If the dot's there, not every valve manufacturer gives you the dot, but if they do, it makes it really simple.
So
if they don't, just twist it a little bit, keep spraying.
Good to know, because there's always been those times where you need just a little bit more.
Right.
And that's your last can of it. And
so that's the cavity wax and the gun cleaner. Then we kind of move in and you can see some of the other items that we have here. So we have all of our seam sealer, our adhesives. And the one thing that you may notice about the cartridges is that all of them have different colored labels. So we have your gold labeled products. We have what would be the red labeled products here. We have the blue labels, and then we have the green labels. So the color indicates what the product is. So in this case, gold is your adhesive. Red is a plastic repair, blue is a seam sealer, and your green is going to be your sound dampening products. And you can see them all laid out right here on this panel. So you can see all of your gold products, all of the adhesives, your plastic repair, your seam sealers, and your sound dampening products. So across the shop, if you're looking for a seam sealer and you look across and you see that gold label, you know that's not the seam sealer. So it's just a quick visual reference that you can go in and see what that looks like. From a perspective of some of our adhesives, we have, our standard panel bonder and our structural adhesives here that we talked about earlier. But we also have our quick set adhesives. We have 20, 50, and 180, and that stands for seconds. And I don't know, have you ever seen these used?
not those.
Okay. So
like JB Weld on steroids.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. So here's what we'll do. I'll give you a quick show of what this looks like. So every time you get ready to use a product, if you left the old static mixer on it, you always want to take the old one and just kind of clean it off a little bit.
They were showing us on the factory floor how the circles and the squares match up to the cap, so you can reseal it.
Exactly. So when you've got that, when you open up a new cartridge for the first time, there's a black plastic piece that comes off. You got the circle and a square. Also on the cap up here that you have to snap off, the same circle and a square. And you're right, you can actually use these to twist back in, and I'll show you here in a moment so you get a chance to see that. But easy way to be able to store them that way, or you can store them with the old static mixer left on it. So with these, and I always do this away from everybody, but you know, this is a little harder to see because both sides are clear, but the one's a little runnier than the other. So when you're doing a cartridge the first time and you equalize the cartridge, so everybody has you equalize cartridges. What they're doing, and you saw this when you went on the tour, these cartridges are filled upside down. And as it goes around, it stops and a plunger fills it up with part A. Then it comes over here and a plunger fills it up with part B. And then finally they put the pistons in. Well, because they're filled at two separate stations, they're never gonna be absolutely identical to each other. So what you have to do before you put a static mixer on is put it into a gun, equalize it so that you get product coming out of both sides. Now you know those pistons are equal. So that's the equalizing. The next piece of that is putting a static mixer on and purging. So you always lay a little bit of a bead, 2 to 3 inches, make sure it looks like it's mixing properly. On really thin products, you always want to leave it standing straight up, and you can squirt some product into the static mixer. And then once you do, then you can flip it over. Because usually, because this is the Quick Set 20, you're only going to use this to do a small repair.
Right.
And if you walk over and turn this thing upside down, the watery side runs down into the tip and knocks it off ratio, and it's not going to work. So you always want to put product into the car tip, then you can flip it over, lay a little bit of a test bead, it mixes properly. And this is just so you get a chance to see. Exactly what we were just talking about. So this product, we would use it for attaching basically anything. If you're doing custom work and you want to attach something to a firewall, you can use it to attach it. You can stick a bolt in this and put the adhesive around it, and after it cools down, remove the bolt and you'll have threads in it. So you can do a lot of different products with this. We use it for black plastic on a car, headlight brackets, radiator tabs, air cleaner boxes, anything black plastic underneath the hood, it's going to glue it. And like I said, it's a really good glue. I keep it around the house to use for projects that I'm working on.